Hey everybody, my name is Bryan McDonald of OnPurpose Growth. This is Seize Your Business podcast. Today, our guest is Jimmy Janevski from Baird Warner Real Estate, and what we're talking about is the importance of niching yourself in business so you can drive the right customers, drive the right value, and basically own a niche in whatever business that you have. Jimmy, why don't you give a quick, background on yourself and intro about your business, and then we'll dive right in.
Sure, sounds good. So my name is Jimmy Janevski with Baird Warner, and I pretty much service the western suburbs here in Chicagoland. And as far as my niche, I've basically decided to kind of focus in on an area where seniors are looking to transition into different part of their life, whether it's a nursing home or they need to sell their house and they want to go into a 55 plus community, or they need assisted living. I found an area there that it's underserved for someone that's in need, that doesn't have a lot of ideas of what they need to do for the next step in transitioning. So I want to be that one-stop shop resource for them to be able to help them through and navigate through all that to get them to the next phase in life.
Perfect. So Jimmy, what drove you to become niched in the real estate business? What made it the most sense for you?
As I've been looking at my business over the last couple of years, I found that I'm starting to service a lot more people in an area where it's an estate, whether it's a family member looking to basically, again, sell their family's home, or it's a mom or dad that they're looking to transition to the next part of their their life, that they don't know where to start, and they don't know who to talk to, or they're older, so things become a little bit more difficult when it comes to how to what the process of selling their home, or so I found that niche needs to have the right person and the right personality, kind-hearted, and and understanding, and being able to listen to what their needs and wants are. And I want to be that that one source for them to be able to help them with all that. So I kind of found that need out in the marketplace, and I actually work with a business coach. So my business coach basically told me that based on my personality and where my business is heading, that this would be something that I would be really good at, and the marketplace really could use somebody like me helping them.
Awesome. So as a general business rule, you understood that finding a need in a specific niche and focusing on that drove you to sales faster, as well as made you leverage you as an expert in that specific niche.
Yeah, I think the very first thing is knowing yourself, and knowing where knowing yourself as a person, and how you can help how you can help people, or where you feel like your best place is served. And again, being in the business, we know that our population is getting older, and as the population ages, I just saw that there's that need of someone that, in my business, a lot of people basically will get this extra education, and it's just a piece of paper for them, and they just put it on their wall, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. I chose to do something different with this. So, so for me, getting my designation for a senior real estate expert, I wanted to basically not just have a piece of paper to show people. I wanted to do something with it. It was specific in regards to why I did it and where I want to take my career. Because in regards to the niche, if you niche yourself in a certain area and you become that subject expert, then you're going to the people that you help will tell other people, and then all of a sudden now that morphs into bigger and better things. And as long as you provide the service that people expect and should be given, that and you're, like I said, and you become that subject expert for that that direction of business, anything can happen.
Awesome. And it sounds like a lot has happened for you, not just anything in the past couple of years. So maybe describe, what's happened to your business over the past couple of years when you've figured out a niche and actually serve those people.
So with, when I started in business, we kind of spoke a little bit earlier about, I've been in the service industry for a long time, basically in retail, and I decided to use my talents and do something for the greater good and helping people. And one of my slogans you'll see at my desk is do what you love every single day and do it for the people that you love. And
awesome.
And that's my wife says every day, she's like, you finally found something that you love to do. And this is and it's true, because when you love what you do, it impacts everything and everybody. So so for me, when I got into the business, having that passion really kind of just helped me overall. In my first year in the business, I basically was able to help 22 families. Not all of them were in a state situation, or but in general, I was able to help 22 families. And in the first year in business, that's a pretty good accomplishment. And in Baird Warner's world, of 400 people they brought on, ended up being number one in the company.
Oh wow!
But to me, thank you. But for me, that's not. To me, that's not what the result is. To me, the biggest accomplishment is all the people that I've been able to help, and all the support that they've given me. So I use Zillow as an area for people to be able to write reviews about me and to kind of comment about what their experience was with me, because to me, it's if I've gone up and over and beyond to help, and the biggest way you can say thank you to me is just by writing a review. Just
right.
And what was your experience with me? So in the short period of time that I've been in the business, I actually have 42 5-star reviews on Zillow. And to get 5 stars is not and it's not just somebody saying hey, you did a nice job. I mean, they write their complete experiences about what it was like working with me, and to me, that's the true result of all the hard work and making sure people are treated the right way. So whether it's people that have been transitioning, or they're selling their mom and dad's home, or whatever it's been, they've been I've navigated them through the process, and their experience has been 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars.
Really,
Right?
yep.
So even though you chose a niche and you went to focus in one area, what you're seeing is you're actually getting referrals and opportunities outside of that niche, just by being able to focus and serve. That's what it sounds like, right?
Absolutely. And his example is that one of my recent transactions in regards to being able to, there was a son basically selling mom and dad's house, and in that scenario, that opportunity came to me by a referral from one of my business partners, and they know how I service my clients, and at the end of the day, that's how our business is built. When we talk about niching and doing the right thing for people, is that the business becomes more of a referral based, and everybody wants to make sure that they have their friends and family helped by the right people. So and that transaction in itself has become another 5-star testimonial, because with that particular scenario, the son just said, I'm tired. It's been a long drawn out. My father was sick for a while, and ultimately he was just tired. So I listened to what he wanted, and he just wanted to be able to work with somebody that would basically help him and get to the finish line with the least amount of, I guess, headache and brunt on his shoulders. And that's what we accomplished. And at the end of the day, to me, he was so satisfied with the fact that we got to the finish line, and I kept my promise to him in regards to limiting the pain and agony for him.
Got it.
So
what it sounds like is when you chose a niche, specifically in this, helping the older generation sell their home, whether it's they're moving to senior living or maybe it's the kids because the parent passed away. You understand all the things that are involved around that transaction, not just the house. It's all the things involved, and you can walk somebody through. So
absolutely,
it's painless, right?
Absolutely, and that's the thing is that that saying is you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, when whether it's an estate or whether it's just somebody transitioning, you don't know what you don't know, and then there's a lot that's involved. A lot of people don't see the behind the scenes or everything that gets involved in trying to make that transition. One of the things that as I took this class in regards to working with seniors, just the amount of money and planning that goes into what that next step is, whether it's maybe assisted living or a 55 plus community or whatever it is. It's not just a matter of selling your home or just I'm going to go from here to here, and it's not a straight line from A to Z. There's a lot involved, whether it's needing estate attorneys or whether it's basically how much savings do I need to have to afford to where I'm going. There's just so much information that is unknown. So for me, having that resource to be able to say, okay, here's where I'm at now, here's where I want to be, and what do I need to do, and having someone that you can trust that will give you the best guidance possible. Having that person is important, and that's kind of why I decided to kind of go down this road with right. Being that expert.
Yep.
But there's a lot involved, and you just need to have the right people to guide you.
So it also sounds like when you chose to niche in a specific space, you have some people that are around your transaction that could be referral partners for you. So now, from what I hear you saying, is you're able to add more value to those referral partners, like an estate attorney, or you mentioned something before, kind of like a cleaner, or they
absolutely.
So now you can add more value to those people in your network. You guys can refer things back and forth. So it sounds like your referral network gets stronger.
Absolutely. So I'm in the process right now of actually building a team.
Oh.
So we talked about estate attorneys. So you never can have enough partners in this because it is a team. I almost kind of assimilated to your basketball team, right? You got five people on the court, right? And then you have the starters and you got the backups. But needless to say, nothing is won by one person. There's no I in team.
Yep.
So you need to have the movers that are ready to clean out a house if necessary. Some people may have lived in their homes for 30, 40 years, and they have a lot of possessions, and some of it may be where there's valuable stuff there where it's not just necessarily giving it away or removing it. Maybe it's an estate sale, so you have to have partners that do with that handle estate planning or in regards to their possessions, cleaning out, estate attorneys, the cleaners, it is a team effort, and that's where having a team and then kind of talking about that one-stop shop for whatever the client's needs are. One client may only need a few of the services. Another client may need all of the services, but it can be overwhelming if that person has to make all these arrangements versus being able to talk to one person and say, okay, I have all these services that are at your disposal. Let's just work through what that looks like, and let's set up the best plan for you.
I appreciate you sharing that. And how do we kind of take this up one level? How do you feel that being niched in this area has set yourself apart from other realtors who are out there trying to gain business? And let's talk about that in a way of maybe not just realtors, but how does that set you apart from your competition so people can apply this to whatever business they're in?
One thing I said earlier was in regards to I think a lot of times people are looking at the business and they're looking at more as kind of an overarching, and they're not niching.
Yeah.
Okay. and they get this nice little piece of paper that says that they got this extra education, and they put it on a wall, or they show some people, but they don't do anything special with it. So I think that's really the first piece. The next piece of it is that when you start developing these relationships with these other partners, example with a mover that I use for I've used for these couple of estate transactions that I've had. They are, he's already been referred to a couple different people, so his business is growing because he's, of that relationship that's built with myself and then other people within the network. So, so when we talk about building a business, and then, as you work with the estate attorneys or the mover and these other people, and then, they're going to refer you business the other way because they're, an example, I have one of my companies that I use for the kind of the transitioning with the, as far as where do I go, a nursing home or
they help with that transition of the parent, help
exactly
think through it, guide them.
So what their needs are going to be, and so with that company, for example, I've built a relationship with them where if because they may be on the front lines of talking to people that are looking to transition, and ultimately, let's say the decision for them will be that they're going to look to, some people are going to look to be able to age in their home, which is perfectly fine, right? But some people that might not be an option. So so if the selling of their home becomes a necessity, well, now I have a referral partner built in there where you say, okay, well, I have the right realtor for you that works with all this stuff all the time, and
So what it sounds like is you've created a revenue generating model inside this niche that separates you from other realtors, or you can apply that to any business, that they don't even become competition. That you're just focused on this, and it doesn't matter what they do, you're gonna continue to bring in revenue based on your daily mode of operation.
Exactly. If you go today and you look in the western suburbs and if you just look up realtors, you're really going to have a hard time finding somebody that says they specifically are working or trying to help this kind of, I wouldn't want to call it demographic or service area. There again, it's just you're hard pressed to find one. Part of what I'm doing now is I'm developing this in so many different avenues in regards to not only building the team but also marketing behind it, because the marketing behind it, if you market it and you have to be the expert, but you have to let people know that you're an expert on it. And for me, the expertise comes into not only having that extra education, but being able to have testimonials of people that you've helped through this process. But people need to know that you exist, that you're doing this, and that's that's going to be the other piece too. Part of us sitting down today, there'll be other marketing that I do behind it. But when you have a niche and you specialize it, and people know, and then they refer you because they've had great experiences, and not a lot of people are doing it, and not a lot of people are niching in this area. It's just going to help my business, and and doing it the right way.
Well, I appreciate it, Jimmy, and as we wrap up here, I appreciate you helping people understand the value of niching, what that can do for setting yourself apart from your competition by almost what it sounds like you're doing is in a very calculated manner, creating an area where you don't even have competition, which is phenomenal.
Yep.
And it just leads to a lot more business. It sounds like you're very clear on how a specific transaction works and all the pieces around it. So valuable information for all of our listeners and everyone watching. So I'm grateful you came out. Thank you. And if anybody wants Jimmy's information, it'll be on the podcast as well as on the YouTube. So please reach out if you have any questions.
Great. Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Perfect.
Awesome.